And take it away, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us today at TOPkit Day 3.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations on all the presenters. I feel so honored to be sort of like wrapping up this amazing 3 days. This has been my first Top Get, and I have learned so much. So thank you to everyone who's been part of the conversations and leading presentations. It's just been absolutely wonderful. My name is Ashley Reese, and I am the Assistant Director of our Digital Learning Training and Support Team in Innovative Education here at USF. I have been at the university. I started in a faculty type position 11 years ago, and then got into faculty development around 2019 and have had the absolute pleasure of being part of this team for almost a year now. And part of joining this team was starting a faculty learning community. And so we're going to talk about that today with the idea of Gen AI in mind, because that's the focus of our faculty learning community. And I'm going to run this presentation similar to how one of our faculty learning community meetings goes, with the intent that hopefully you will kind of get the feel for what this looks like if you wanted to try something similar in your own situation context. So we're going to start with a reflection. Then I'm going to present some concepts, some ideas. Then I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms so that you can share your ideas, strategies, expertise. And then we're going to come back and we're going to debrief and take some takeaways. So I'm going to first start here. I invite you to share in the chat, but if you are feeling tired of typing and want to share verbally, you're also welcome to raise your hand. If you're in a faculty development or support role, how are you supporting faculty's use of Gen AI for teaching and learning? Or if you are joining us as faculty, how are you being supported when it comes to using Gen AI for teaching and learning? So I invite you to write in the chat, or again, if you're feeling verbal, feel free to raise your hand. These are amazing. So we've got support teaching faculty how to use it and building notebooks and gems. That's fantastic. I've learned so much about that these past few days. Co-leading a group of AI faculty fellows and redesigning assessment, course level training, seminars, one-on-one more. We've got professional development sessions offered by the Director of Innovative and Emerging Technology, webinars, seminars, book circles. Love a book circle. Meeting faculty where they are, providing information, an AI toolkit in Canvas. That sounds very exciting. An AI book club, encouraging faculty by modeling transparent use of Gen AI. That's so impactful. And attending AI professional development sessions with faculty. These are fantastic. Y'all are supporting faculty and or being supported in so many different ways, and I love to see it. Oh, and Lisa, I think this is so interesting. Faculty aren't interested in attending workshops on AI specifically, so you're integrating it in as a tool across many contexts. I like that. I like that a lot. So, you have shared a little bit of your context. I'm going to share a little bit more about my context. How did we get here? Well, um, our team has a pretty robust support, similar to what many of you mentioned in terms of how we're supporting faculty in terms of Gen AI. So we have a semesterly webinar that lasts about 90 minutes. It's hands-on. Faculty do prompts. They talk about how they might enhance their courses using Gen AI as a partner, a collaborative tool. We have a Canvas workshop that you may have attended Lindsay Mercer's presentation earlier today on, that has 4 modules that walks faculty through how they might use Gen AI in their own courses to enhance their course implementation. And we have a MOOC version of that. if you are interested in finding out on the Canvas network. And then we have our faculty champions. So this is a faculty panel where our faculty share how they are currently using AI in their courses, how they're teaching with AI. So we have all of these opportunities with for faculty to engage, but so many of them are these sort of one-off experiences. Come to a webinar, come do a 4-module asynchronous course, come see this panel. Um, it's not, they're wonderful. We have wonderful feedback. We have great participation, but there's like an opportunity for something else, which is where the faculty learning community comes in. So if you are not familiar with a faculty learning community, typically what they are is about 9 faculty members come together. They meet over the course of an academic year. They have a specific topic that they're focused on that often leads to some sort of sustained pedagogical change. And what's important is that by coming together, they have a sense of community. So, what does that look like if we were to take this model for us, or what does it look like? Well, we modified it a little bit because just 9 faculty is pretty limiting for the 2,000 plus faculty we have at USF. So it's actually open to all faculty and staff who teach. And instead of it being led by faculty, it's actually led by me in partnership with my colleagues here at Digital Learning, Training, and Support. And to make sure that faculty still are centered, it's guided by faculty input. At the end of each meeting, we send out a survey. We ask them, how useful was this meeting? And also, what do you want to talk about next time? And we give them a few options and have an open text box where they can share as well. So even though we're doing sort of the behind the scenes leading and guiding, we want our faculty to have their voices front and center as much as possible. So these are our goals. We meet monthly with them. We share innovative ideas as we come across them. We talk about things that are timely, beginning of the semester, things like, hey, do you have a Gen AI policy ready to go? But we also really make time for faculty. So, and faculty sharing and faculty expertise, which is why we have those breakout rooms and why we have the reflection at the beginning and the debrief. Because, yes, I can share all day long. My colleagues, we can share the ideas that we're coming across, but our faculty really benefit when they hear from each other what's happening, how they are implementing these things, the challenges, but also the opportunities, the successes that they have when they're working with AI with their students in the classroom. So we have this great idea, and then we were posed the question, can we start in 2 weeks? So we did what comes naturally next. We recruited. So um, we started by we had this robust resource, right? All these faculty who had participated in our different Gen AI workshops, our webinars, all of these things. We reached out to them and said, "Hey, you like Gen AI? You should come to our faculty learning community." We have a weekly email outreach that faculty self-sign up for that we said, "Hey, maybe you'd like this faculty learning community." We are fortunate that our provost office sends out an email to all faculty, and they included this faculty learning community on it. But then it was August. So, as might be the case for you, we were very busy in August, so which was wonderful for recruitment because it meant we were seeing a lot of faculty. We were in front of them for orientations, both for new faculty, but other different orientations. We were giving initial get started for the semester workshops. And in each of those, we were like, hey, we have this new FLC. You should come join us. And then we had grassroots conversations. If you had any sort of conversation with me those few weeks, you got invited to this FLC. You might be like, hey, I have a Canvas quiz question. I'd be like, that's so wonderful. Have you ever thought about joining an FLC? And so it was successful. I may have annoyed a few people, but it did mean that we had 30 initial sign-ups in that 2 week time, which for the beginning of the semester in a 2 week time span, we counted as a huge success. But That has grown to we now have 91 signups. And so the way that we measure this is we have an asynchronous team in Microsoft Teams where faculty join up and sign up as members. So that's where the 91 comes from. You can see for our first meeting, we had 21 people attend. We've had a little bit of the spring drop off, which, if you do faculty development, happens because spring can be a little rough on everyone. But we've had 48 unique participants across this academic year. So we're pretty happy with that. And I would say that our faculty are pretty happy with it too. You'll see our survey results in a minute. These have been some of our meeting topics. So we've talked about course policy. We've talked about how students might use assessments and activities that center or, utilize generative AI in some way. We talk about how students are currently using Gen AI and how they might survey their students to find out how they're using it. We talked about using Gen AI to help design assessments. So, writing a quiz question or putting together a rubric. And then most recently, we've been talking about how Gen AI is impacting their discipline and how their discipline might respond as a result. So not just, so my background is the English department. And so, how we can't just talk about books without acknowledging that a lot of essays are being partnered with AI in some way, shape, or form. So what does that look like, and how can we evolve to that moment? And so each of our meetings follow this outline. So what you're seeing here today, we have a reflection at the beginning. We introduce the meeting's topic, we move to a breakout room, and then we debrief afterwards. So again, the goal here you'll see is to really center the faculty's voice. And we're very fortunate in that because this has been the ethos all along, our faculty interrupt now during the presentation part, which is the goal, right? It's all well and good for me to stand up here and say, have you heard about a Gen AI course policy? But I want my faculty to say, this is how I'm using it. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what has or has not worked for me. That's the goal. And so I'm always happy when that happens. In fact, we didn't even make it to breakout rooms in our last time we met because they were so busy talking. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. We're meeting our goal here today. And so with after each meeting, we survey them. We've had 32 responses from faculty total. So the survey again is in part what meeting topics do you want in the future? We have an open text box for feedback, but then we also ask them, how useful have these meetings been? Overwhelming, they have said that they're very useful. We have a few somewhat useful, a few who didn't respond, so we can only assume what they had to say. But we do have this feedback from an instructor who's talked about how the FLC's meaningfully improved teaching by giving her a collaborative space to explore ethical, transparent, and practical AI use with my colleagues. And that's really at the heart of it is that cross-disciplinary, cross-campus, cross-college conversation about what people are doing. We have people from our health, from medicine coming in and talking about how AI is impacting, like preparing students for being with patients. And then we have people talking about, well, if I'm doing research and I'm using AI as part of the research notebook, how does that look? And it's so rewarding to see those things happening together, faculty hearing from each other and getting ideas that they're able to then ping off one another. So I warned you, it's now your turn because you've now heard me talk plenty. And I want you to now share with each other. So you're going to go into a breakout room and I want you to discuss, do you currently have a program like a faculty learning community? If not, would you be interested in starting one? And if your answer to both of those things is no, maybe there's some strategies that you can use from what we did. So maybe like the structure, the way that we center faculty conversations, our grassroots recruitment, some of the topics. If you want to take those topics, please, by all means, take them, use them. Survey measurements, anything like that, if that is useful to you. What of these might you take on? And then I'm going to tap Charlotte to say, are our breakout rooms ready? Are you ready to put them in there?
They are ready to go. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit
Excellent.
create, y'all. And we will be pre-assigned to these ones, so you don't need to pick. But we're gonna be
Perfect.
pre-assigned to 10 different breakout rooms because we have about or let's do 8 different breakout rooms, and I'm gonna
Sure.
recreate them now. Okay, cool.
Perfect. And then we're only going to be in there for 7 minutes. I want to give you enough time to talk, but I also want to give enough time for to come back and debrief and for you to ask questions. So we'll be back at 3:42.
Awesome. See you guys soon. And those of you who are co-hosts, that's mostly my team. If you're co-hosts and you would like to join a room, please go right ahead. But the way these were pre-assigned, it didn't pre-assign co-hosts. So if you would still like to go and head over to a room, please go right ahead. I think everybody's still joining.
And thank you so much. This was amazing. Is there a way to, I know you wrote in the chat, is there a way to like, I'm not as, we're a team school. Is there a way to like share out this slide with them
Not a way to share out the slide, but I did just share it
in the chat to them?
yeah, in the
Amazing.
broadcast. Oh, and I broadcast it to everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. Probably not what they were expecting in the last session to have to go in a breakout room, but
They're
keeping
all
them
gonna
on
be
their
like,
toes.
I'm gonna go walk around and talk to everybody. I'll be right back.
Okay, excellent.
Okie dokie.
We have about 10 or 12 people joining, which is
Mhm.
great if everybody comes. So, oh, I think we have 16 if come ever.
Hey guys, and I'm not sure if I missed anything in the chat, but I was really interested in this. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it back here in the chat. Um, hey, how are you? Yeah, so I wanted to say that we're a little bit odd at UCF in that we do have faculty learning communities, but we actually have two different faculty development departments, you could say here at UCF. One of them is fully online, and one of them is for all faculty. So we have the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning, who does have one of these faculty learning communities, several of them actually, but the online version doesn't. So I really think that this is an important thing to have for the faculty who maybe aren't on campus. That's a big thing is technically FCTL is open to all of them, and that's what we currently do at UCF, but we actually don't have one of these for fully online faculty. So it's a little bit different.
Um, I'm with USF and part of
Mm.
Ashley's team, so I don't have much to share that hasn't already been shared. Um,
I'm actually curious, what challenges did you guys come across when you were initially trying to implement it?
Surprisingly, it happened very quickly.
Yeah?
Ashley took the reins. Yeah, I think it's because faculty are interested and willing to learn about AI. It's the biggest hot button issue. It was not hard to
Mm-hmm.
get people interested in buy-in because they feel they have a deficit
Mm.
at that point.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Jessica and Mary, did you already have a chance to talk? I was not sure if I came in a little bit late, so I apologize.
I just wrote that we don't have one at our college. We don't have a faculty learning community, but I'd be interested in trying to get one started.
Yeah. And what
So I don't
college
know
are you at?
at Pensacola State College.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I may have been doing something else at the same time, Victor, but has Ashley talked about like sharing implementation strategies with other universities?
Absolutely. We're always
Okay,
interested. Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Um, I would say really what it was it was kind of a perfect storm of you had the interested faculty, but also we've all been around in the university and have kind of our go-to people to message and our champions. And that's kind of where you start,
Hmm.
right? And then you let the word of mouth come in. We did have a couple of things where we advertised with, I think the provost one time um, was able, like their provost messaging, it was included as a liner note within their larger article.
Hmm.
Um, I don't have data on whether or not that achieved any more people, but it's been pretty impressive. Typically, like there's at least 30 people in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
It
wonderful.
has dwindled down,
Hmm.
right, as things happen. But 30 was a couple of times that's kind of our highest peak.
That's awesome. That's really
Yeah,
wonderful. And
Look,
and again, I apologize. Was this online or in person?
it's online using Teams,
Awesome. And sorry, Mary, go ahead.
Microsoft Teams.
I came in a little late, but like, what topics do you cover in their monthly meetings, I believe?
Yes, they're monthly, and it's based on how we're seeing AI change and develop. So we kind of come up with a theme um, throughout the um, like we're seeing now agents are becoming an important thing that people are the recent one we were planning on doing agents. So before when we first started it was all about prompting, right? Now we're seeing it's not just prompting, it's how do you create an agent that students are able to then ask questions within uh, an ecosystem of control and things like that. So um, and also
And I think we're going to close in
student
about 10 seconds. I just noticed.
okay. Okay. And last thing is that faculty ask, they're like, hey, I want to learn.
Welcome back. All right. I would love to hear from you. What did you talk about? You're welcome to type it in the chat, but I also would love to hear from you if you want to unmute yourself and share what you talked about. I know I'm asking you to be so participatory, and you're like, this conference is almost over, lady.
We chatted a little bit, just got to know each other, and I was partnered with a colleague that I work with, and so that was nice. We met someone from FIU, and we talked about the different kind of communities and faculty learning communities that we have on our campuses.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Rosalind.
And we talked a little bit. I mean, I had Victor, who's from USF as well, and then I had another individual from Pensacola State College. But UCF had one when we first started AI. Like everybody was there. I believe it was the summer of 2023, maybe 2024. And I love the idea of the evolving trends because I think that that's something that it's still important. And we just started this discussion again at one of our flagship faculty developments. The gates. And new faculty had completely different questions than more seasoned faculty. So I think outreach to different levels of faculty and keeping those evolving topics is going to be really important.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's been one of I think most rewarding things that faculty don't see coming is the fact that they are in it with, because I think, if you're in a department, if you are faculty, like if you're in a department, you see your department people all the time. Unless you're really lucky to be on a small campus, such as our Sarasota campus gets to see other people. But if you are like you're often seeing the same people. And so to see this cross department, cross discipline, cross cult, like campus college, I think can be because then you get to talk to people that you normally wouldn't. And sometimes that can also be freeing because it's not the same people you're seeing in your department meetings. You're seeing people that whose ideas you have not yet encountered. All right, I'm looking at the chat. We've got people talking about having the topics evolve with the trends. Yeah, and that's the benefit. We never publish what our next topic is because we really do want the faculty to come up with it. We have some ideas, but we want to know what they are thinking about. Challenges between full-time faculty participation versus part-time faculty participation. Absolutely. I mean, there is almost no perfect time to do one of these as well, right? Like when are people available and not teaching other than I would say evenings, but even that, like we have grad classes in the evening, maybe a Saturday, and no one should be doing faculty development on a Saturday, not regularly. You should be sleeping or doing fun things. Um, the Thank you for that laugh, Ina. So we've got challenges of asking our faculty member to do extra work. Yes. So, and that Heidi, I'm so glad that you brought that up because that is why ultimately we are leading the faculty learning community is because we were like, what is the best way to sustain this and to get um like to make sure that it is doesn't drop off. And a large part of that is us doing it, right? So we write the meeting topics. I send out the surveys. I send out the reminders. I host, the meetings and teams and all of that. I post on the website that this is coming up. And so by that existing, I don't have to worry about adding a burden to faculty members. They just have to show up for an hour once a month. Now, that is still a lot. You saw the spring drop off. That happens because our faculty are busy. You might say overwhelmed at times. And so but the goal for this is that they can just kind of come when they're able. There is no homework for it. Come share what you're thinking about. We'll give you some gems to think about. And then we want to know what you're doing and what questions you have and how we can support you as well. What format of your feedback component at each meeting? We do a 3-question Qualtrics survey. And one of them is how useful was this meeting? Three, like very Likert scale, very useful, somewhat useful, not useful. Then we have a like, what topic do you want to see next? And we have a few listed there as an option, but we also have an other. So if we have not thought of the creative thing you want to talk about, and then we have an open text box for sort of like anything else you want us to know. And so we get a whole range of things where someone once wrote back and said, I wasn't able to attend this meeting, but I wanted to like let you know I want to talk about this next time. And it's a Teams team. So everyone has access to the chat so they can see when I post the survey. So go for it. If you want to go send that survey out or fill out the survey, let me know what you want to talk about next. That's great. And the goal is, I mean, could we have more responses? Absolutely. But my goal is to try to keep it simplified enough that it's useful for me, for what they want from me, and hopefully not too burdensome for them. The size of the team makes a big difference in the types of faculty communities we create and support. Additional units at the university may also provide some of these communities and learning opportunities. Yeah, absolutely. Are there payment or stipend involved for faculty in participating in this type of initiative? For this particular learning community, there is not. This is just faculty who want to talk about AI. I will say, I have like 2 or 3 people who have been here since August, and they come every single time. And from my understanding is that they get something out. I mean, I assume they get something out of it, right? It's not because it's not because I'm paying them anything. And so hopefully there is some that intrinsic value in coming and getting that, repeated conversations. Um, but no, there is no money associated with it.
You always know it's needed if they're willing to do it without a monetary incentive. Very needed.
This is true. This is true. I recognize that this is now officially we are at 3:50, and so I want to be respectful of your time. This was my slide for your takeaway, just in case, a little ribbon dancer for you. But I want to thank you all so much for coming.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for such an informative presentation. And is it okay if our attendees reach out to you and ask how they can implement their own programs at their institutions?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. I'll put my email in the
Please.
chat.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I know I asked Victor as well, and he said yes, but I wanted to ask you officially. So um, both were true. Wonderful. Well, thank you again so much, Ashley, our amazing day three best in track. And remember, those are completely non-subjective. They're purely tallied by our individuals who complete the proposal review process. So congratulations again. And did you get your trophy?
I did. I did.
Yay!
I'm not
Okay.
sitting at my desk currently, but it is at my desk, and I've made all my colleagues
Wonderful.
look at it and admire it.
Yay! Okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations again, and thank you for a wonderful session. So I will keep
Thank
this
you.
closing very brief, everybody. I know that we only have until 4 o'clock, but I just wanted to start by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody for showing up, for contributing, and being part of TopkIt. As many of you may know, this is a very important transition for us here at TopkIt. Our current funding is coming to an end this summer. So moments like this bring a lot of natural reflection, but they also bring opportunity. We're excited to share that UCF is actively partnering with FIU, and we are currently in the proposal review process to create a new phase from 2026 to 2031. So please keep your fingers crossed that we are renewed because this collaboration represents not just continuation, but evolution. That opportunity to expand, to strengthen, and reimagine what the TopKit community can look like in the years to come. We're genuinely excited about what's ahead, and optimistic, and as always, incredibly grateful to have each and every one of you here with us. But we do need to complete the survey because we need your input, especially if you want TopKit to continue. So I'm going to hand it over to Susie next with that link, and it is right here. So go ahead, Susie.
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. Yes, please take a little time to complete the survey. We'd love to hear your feedback and just, what a ride it has been on this carnival. Big ideas to meaningful conversations. This Top Kitsch workshop has been a carnival of innovation, but we are pulling up the stakes, you like that, of this big top, unfortunately. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for your conversation, for your ideas, and for leaning in such a wonderful experience. The real impact starts now as you take these ideas and inspirations back to your teams and think about them and innovate them and to put them into action. And we want to see you all next year at TopKit, whatever that looks like. We will still be here and we can't wait to see you again. Thank you all very much and go and innovate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Keep that QR code tight and look out for an email from me because I will be sending a message right at 4 o'clock. All
Charlotte,
right.
thanks, Susie. Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all of your efforts. Thank you for presenting, and thank you, of course, for attending. Thank you for all your hard work. Bye. Bye, guys. All right. And I guess I can stop recording.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you, Tom,
Bye.
our best
Thank
cheerleader.
you.